What up? What up? Kyle from Shore and Wave here. Just wanted to say thank you so much for checking out our website. Here's some FAQs that we have gotten over the past few years and kind of just want to sum everything up for you, whether if it's us or it's somebody else, another photographer, another videographer. Hopefully these can help answer some questions that come around when you're looking for a wedding photographer or a wedding videographer. So specifically about Shore and Wave, the question is, what's our style of photo and video? So I would probably say that we tend to shoot more of a fun and candid photojournalistic style. We're not really big on posing. We want to make sure that you guys are having fun, that if you need a little help and you need a little direction, absolutely, we got you covered. But we kind of just want to be there and just document how the day is actually going. Because when you look back at the photos or you look back at the video, we want to make sure that when you're looking at those, we want to make you feel as if you're reliving those moments, not something that you can remember and think like, oh, Kyle and Stephanie or whoever was shooting, one of our associates, whoever was shooting, they were posing and they were moving us around. And I remember feeling kind of uncomfortable. It just didn't feel organic. So we want to make sure that we keep it fun and we keep it candid. Let's see, what are the benefits of a husband and wife team? So obviously Stephanie is my wife. My name is Kyle, and I'm the hubby. And I think one of the benefits is, one, you have everything going into the same household. So typically that can usually save you some money. So if you usually hire a photographer and a videographer from two different companies, they're both going to be charging a premium because they both have their own households, their own household. So I would probably say it can help save money. It is easy to pose something or give you an example of like, hey, I actually want you to do something like this, or just cuddle. And you're like, what does that mean? Well, I can use my wife as the example. So benefits is we can help pose when we need to pose, saving some money. And I would probably say we work very well together. Not to say that when I shoot with other photographers and I'm the videographer that I don't work well with other people. I enjoy working with other photographers as well, not just my wife. But we know each other. We know each other's habits. We know where we're going to be at for certain times of the wedding day, whether if it's in the ceremony. There's no question of where she's going to be and where I'm going to be. Do you set up audio? Do you do audio recording? Yes, we do audio recording. So typically I'll set up a little lav mic on the groom for first look or vows if you're doing them separately away from the ceremony. But we will also set up audio and put it again on the groom or at least one of the people's getting married, just because it can be a lesbian couple for all I know. I will mic up one person, and then the other mic will be with the DJ. So whatever the house system is, so that way I have a couple audio sources just in case one isn't good or one is better than the other. I have a couple options. We also make sure that the audio levels that we're recording on, there's one high and one low. So just in case somebody is speaking very, very quietly and another person is speaking very, very loudly, we have two audio tracks, technically four audio tracks, kind of to be able to bounce between to make sure that the audio is good. Let's see. Do you set up distracting lighting? Was a question. No, we do not set up distracting lighting. I think the only situation where it can be and it kind of feels distracting is for the speeches. Usually it's just one really big light in the back of the room or somewhere, and it's beaming across either over other guests, or it's just the speaker. The speaker's just not used to being lit, which we need for video purposes, or else it's going to be a very dark and very moody speech. It'll be hard to see the person. So we want to make sure that it's lit well, but we try not to put the light directly in front of them so they're looking at the light per se. We definitely want to have it angled so they can still kind of look around and talk to people, look at the couple, whoever it is, and so it's not too distracting. Look at that. Stephanie's calling. Hey, babe. Hi. Yeah. Uh-huh. Say that one more time.
Why should we choose you? Why should we choose Shore & Wave out of all the people we're going to go and talk to?
Okay.
Hit on the husband and wife thing. Really nail that home. Like,
sounds good.
Hey, working with a husband and wife team, you have access to a few perks that you wouldn't if you didn't. Like we can model poses for you.
Uh-huh.
Our editing styles are similar because we've simultaneously created our LUTs and our presets using the same fashion, so they're going to they're going to look very
cohesive. Yeah, coherent, cohesive.
Cohesive, that's the word.
Okay.
Not coherent.
Okay.
You can say you have extra eyes on the editing, so
true.
Feel like, hey, you've got multiple pairs of eyes running through all your edits, and the shot list on day of. You can guarantee that your photo video team's going to get along. That's not always the case.
True. Very true.
And you don't need to say they will fight if you don't choose us, but
yeah.
You just know what you're getting.
Yeah.
You know what kind of relationship, what kind of vibes you're getting on your wedding day, and you can check that off your list. That's going to be one thing that you don't have to be concerned about.
Yeah.
Is your vendors getting along?
Yeah.
I don't know. What
no.
do you think?
No, that was perfect.
Okay.
Any other questions you can think of?
No, I think you can. Another thing that I really like about us that I think some of our couples like too, you can touch on transactional versus relational and why we always hit on that and why we quote unquote limit the amount of weddings we take on every year.
Yeah.
So we want to provide our couples with the best. We want to provide the best white glove service, but most importantly, we want to build a friendship. We don't want to just show up on the wedding day and be like, hi, I'm Stephanie, this is Kyle, we're shooting your shit, and we're going to leave at the end of the day, and you'll hear from us in 8 weeks.
Yeah.
No, you can mention, Chelsea and Hunter and Tiffany and Justin as examples. You don't even have to name names, but...
Sure.
We have some couples we see, once a month. We hang out at Disneyland, we'll go get dinner, we'll hang out at each other's houses.
Yeah.
We really want this to blossom into something that come wedding day, you're so comfortable with us as your team and your friends.
And even after the wedding day too, because look at us tonight. We're hanging out with Tiffany and Justin for dinner, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we've been hanging out with them since 2021.
Exactly.
Just hitting on the relational versus transactional and why we feel so strongly about it.
Love it.
We're not for you if you don't want to be friends with your...
True. Or if you can't handle hearing some toddlers in the background on the phone call, probably not a good fit.
We expose you to our life.
Yeah.
And the good and the bad.
Yeah.
And sometimes that means having crazy little toddlers running and screaming in the background. It's our life. And we're not going to apologize for our life and how we live it.
Yeah.
And as long as we jive, and if that doesn't sound good to you, then maybe we're not a right fit.
Yep.
We'll find somebody who is a right fit. But for those of our couples that are a right fit, we want to consider you as family, and we hope that you do the same for us.
Yep. Perfect.
Okay.
Okie doke.
All right, love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.
Well, you heard it from her. Going back to the questions, let's see. What's your limit on hours? 12 hours is usually kind of our max. It's just a really long day. I'm definitely a hype man. I'm trying to bring the energy, trying to make you feel good and happy and sexy and excited and all of the good stuff. For me to do that for 12 hours, is very difficult. I will do it for you, but it can be very difficult. So I would say 12 hours would be our max, but our average booking is usually around 8 to 9 hours. When's the best time to book? The best time to book is right now. No, I guess seriously, something that we do, and maybe not every photographer, videographer, or wedding vendor does this, is we provide our prices on our website. We just recently started doing this, and we hope, the vibe is we hope that it helps in the ease of communication between you and us. If we don't have the pricing, that means you have to reach out. Then we have to give you a gauge and a quote and so on and so forth. Everyone has a specific budget in mind that they would like to try to stick to for any vendor. Definitely for photo, video, and planning, they're definitely big investments, and venue obviously, but they're big investments, and we understand that. So we want to make sure that if we're able to provide more information ahead of time to help eliminate your time and our time of maybe unnecessary conversation, whether if it means we are maybe not as expensive as much as you want to spend, or vice versa, which is most of the cases if couples don't decide to move forward with us historically, is if we're too expensive. So if we're transparent and we're honest about, hey, this is how much we're charging and here are the different collections, we can obviously customize it a bit, but the pricing on the website is pretty solid, and it usually consists of the second collection or wave 2 or shore 2, whatever package you're kind of looking at is usually the average. So you can get more hours or maybe a less hour or less coverage depending on whatever your need is. But having the pricing there just makes it a lot easier for you and I to be able to figure out, okay, what's a good fit. And hopefully if you just like the interaction that we're having and you like the energy that I'm bringing in the conversation and you feel like you can trust me, ideally we would book right then and there or within the next 24, 48 hours. Let's see. How long have you been shooting weddings? So I started in November of 2018. 2019 was actually the first official, like the kickoff year where I was doing and shooting anything and everything. I had 81 weddings, whether that was my wedding or I was helping with another person's wedding in 2019, 31 of my own weddings in 2020, 49 of my own weddings in 2021, and 38 of my own weddings in 2022, totaling to 199 weddings so far. We are one wedding away from 200 weddings. And this is not including our corporate stuff as well, which we do. We do shoot. Let's see, how many videographers and photographers will be at our wedding day? Historically, and on an average, it will usually be with us 2 photographers and 1 videographer. I know how to shoot a wedding by myself. I've got 2 cameras. I can put one on a tripod, and I love to be able to move around, obviously, for the highlight video. But I personally feel like 1 videographer is enough, depending on the timeline. If your timeline looks like one person is getting ready in Orange County and another person is getting ready in San Diego, obviously we're going to need 2 videographers and 2 photographers at 2 different locations. Now those are a little bit extreme examples, but you can kind of get the gauge of what I'm talking about. Where are you guys based out of? We're based in Orange County. We currently live in Tustin, but we serve anywhere between San Diego to LA. How many weddings do you shoot per year? From the example I kind of gave earlier, we would ideally like to shoot anywhere between 35 and maybe 45 weddings per year. Again, this is outside of our corporate work as well. Do we travel? Yes, we do travel. Traveling can be kind of difficult though. We have a 3 and a 1-year-old. So we try not to travel too much just because it can be kind of difficult to coordinate babysitting, travel arrangements and stuff like that when it comes to just us not being around the kids. So we try to stay pretty local, but if we happen to get a gig where it is like a destination wedding, typically what we'll do is try to make that wedding an extended stay to make it a vacation, and we'll use the revenue that we get from that wedding to just dump it all into that vacation. So yes, will have to work, but having the revenue and being able to also go somewhere and just spend some good quality family time outside of the US or just outside of Southern California is always an option for us. And if it works out, it works out. Have you shot at my venue before? This is a good question because I have not shot at every single wedding I have not shot at every single wedding venue, but I will say that it is not difficult to shoot at any venue. There are if the more that I shoot at some places, the more I can find little pockets and be a little bit more creative. But historically, if I haven't shot at a venue, it's definitely not a deal breaker. The getting ready area is usually kind of consistent, and you can't control where you get ready. The ceremony is usually something that is already planned, and you can't really change anything from an angle perspective for the ceremony or the reception. So most venues have the same typical kind of flow and layout. But the portrait session is where we can be a little bit creative and maybe even the first look locations. So we'll do some scouting ahead of time, whether that's on the wedding day and we just get there an hour early and we can kind of just walk around and check out the venue. Or if we go days or weeks before the wedding and we can go check out the venue and, and look at certain lighting at certain times and so on and so forth. So it's not a big deal if we haven't shot at your venue. It really isn't. It's not a game changer. It is great for an example to be able to show you when you're inquiring, that you can see like, oh, hey, here's kind of what an album would look like. But typically if you like the other photos and you like the other videos that we provide, your wedding will look very similar. Why do you cost so much? This is an interesting question just because I do know that there are other photographers and other videographers that are charging definitely a lot more than we are. So I think it's definitely a perspective of whatever your budget is, and obviously we will respect anyone's budget. But I guess to flip it, think of it this way. If you and your significant other both have a job, and let's just say they make around $90,000 a year. That's $180,000 per year between the both of you to be able to afford the lifestyle that you have. Now, if we're only going to shoot, we'll just say 40 weddings per year, we'll say 45, maybe 50, to include any corporate work or engagement shoots or anything like that. We'll say, let's do a quick little math here, of 180,000 divided by 50. So if we shot 50 weddings, we would need to charge a minimum of $3,600. Now that is not including taxes. And as an entrepreneur and we run our own business, you best believe taxes are very high. So, having only to shoot maybe 40 weddings will obviously mean that we need to charge more per wedding. But again, that goes back to the relational aspect that we're trying to build. We invest a lot of time with our couples outside of just the consultation calls and helping with timelines and the wedding day and editing. We want to be able to get to know you. We want to be able to spend time with you guys so that you know us and we know you. That way, come wedding day, it's fun and it's candid. How do we know when we have found the right team? I think if you already have a specific budget, and I think that's really important. If you have a budget, be ready to spend the money on that budget. And secondly, if you vibe well with the vendor, not just us, any vendor, if they hit the budget and you can tell that you're going to have fun with them on the wedding day and they provide a great service, don't hesitate to book them right then and there, because there is always the possibility that they're going to get booked if you take too long to book them, or they hit a certain number, like they've already maxed out on the amount of weddings that they want to do, and they can't handle it anymore. Or there's a wedding before and they can't do a back-to-back because literally it would just destroy them. So if they are in the budget, if they are fun to chat with, and you know that you're going to have a good time with them on the wedding day, book them right there and then, or at least within the next 48 hours. And it's okay to be like transparent of, hey, I would love to book you. I want to book you right now. I need 2 days to get the retainer, or give me till the end of the week and do this. Because unfortunately, we have all vendors have seen the situations where someone comes up and they say they're really excited, they want to book us, and then they need a week, and then we don't hear from them at all. And we don't want to necessarily like hold a date of service for something that isn't confirmed. So we get excited when we see the contract has been signed and a retainer has been paid, then we jump for joy. But until then, we should hold off on all excitement until those things are done. Do we provide prints? No, we do not provide prints, but you can purchase them from the website that we provide. It's called PicTime. When we deliver your gallery, you can customize, and we can help build those galleries and prints for you. Do you provide raw footage? No, we don't provide raw footage. We call them raw wedding videos. Raw footage is basically, we take the SD card out, we put it into a drive, not named, not labeled, not color graded. There you go. What I like to do is be able to take the clips, put them all into 3 longer videos. So one video will be everything that happened before the ceremony. The second video is everything during the ceremony. And the third video is everything after the ceremony. They're all color graded. It's all in camera audio minus the ceremony, just because I'm already doing the workflow to sync up the audio from your vows and the officiant inside the ceremony. So it's almost like a ceremony edit. So yeah, we don't provide raw footage. We call them raw wedding videos. Do you use a gimbal? I will use a gimbal if I need to. If it involves a lot of running or a lot of movement, then yes, I will absolutely use a gimbal. But I love the candid vibe of handheld footage. I love a little shake. I feel like when I watch it, I feel like I'm more there versus watching more of a production kind of moment and everything is always super smooth. Do you provide doc edits? No, we do not. We only provide those raw wedding videos. I do not like doc edits. I wouldn't watch my own doc edit. I would watch my own raw wedding video. So that's what we provide. Do you have a drone? Yes, we have a drone. We will fly the drone, weather permitting, and if I'm allowed to. Same goes with any other videographer. Do you provide same-day edits? Yes, I do provide same-day edits. The only caveat to having a same-day edit is we absolutely have to have a second shooter for video. Those are days where I'm not going to try to be the only shooter, just because I need time to edit your film. And if while I'm editing, I can also be shooting. So in those cases, we'll definitely have at least one other shooter to make sure that we're getting coverage of everything else for your the rest of your highlight film. Unless it is you only want a same day edit and you don't want a highlight video, you don't want the raw wedding, you just want a same day edit at the end of the day, I could do that too. Let's see, how long until we get our photos or videos? Typically and contractually, we say 6 to 8 weeks, but historically, it's usually actually a 4 to 6 weeks is when we are able to provide back your final highlight videos, your raw wedding videos, and your edited photos. Should I hire a planner? Yes, absolutely. You should hire a planner. You do not want to be doing the work on your wedding day and you find out that something is wrong with the florals and they're behind, or You don't have the right contact information for your hair and makeup, and if hair and makeup's late, the rest of the day is messed up. Issues with food, issues with seating, issues with the DJ, issues with timing at the ceremony. You don't want to deal with that. Absolutely have a planner, 100%. If you can't afford it, have a full service planner. That way they're helping with literally everything. Let's see. And then can you help with the timeline? Absolutely, we can help you with the timeline. You've got us for, let's just say it's 8 hours. And once we have a general timeline, if you have a planner typically will provide a timeline, and they will kind of insert us in what they think is best. But we will always look at the timeline and let the planner know, or let you know if we see some issue of we're missing coverage, we don't have enough coverage. We'll let you know. But yes, we can help you with a timeline if you need it. Yeah, and I think that's really about it. It's a lot of FAQs, but thank you so much for sticking through. I hope this was able to help you, and I hope you are able to book us for your wedding day. And if this isn't for Short and Wave, I do hope this has been able to be helpful in your search for another photographer, videographer in your area, wherever you may live. Kyle from Short and Wave. Peace.